As a tutor is to help your student relate the skills of reading and writing to his own life. This isn't always easy when his reading material consists of stories and passages that were written by other people and that reflect their thinking and experiences. Sometimes their experiences or ways of expressing themselves are quite different from those of the student. Reading can come alive for that student only when he realizes that it can reflect his experiences too. Every student needs to learn that he can think about many things. What he can think about, he can talk about with others. What he can talk about, he can write about. And what he can write, he can read, and so can others. Notice the steps in the process.
Ken, you related real well to Carla in the last lesson that we had. Do you know of anyone that's a single parent raising children?
Yes, I do.
Who?
Me.
Oh, well, tell me about your kids.
Well, I got 2 kids, 4 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I do everything I can with those guys.
Well, that's really good.
I tried to influence my son coming with me and instead of going with his mother one day.
Mm-hmm.
Me and his brother had fun.
Ken tells Mary about something that happened to him.
Well, let's try to get some of this down on paper. I'll write it out, and you'll have to go kind of slow, though.
Okay.
Okay? So how would you like to start it?
Okay, I tried to influence my son into coming with me.
Mary then reads the story back to Ken for corrections.
Okay. Now, I'm going to read this back to you, and then you'll let me know if I have everything on here correctly.
Okay.
And then at that time, then we can change it if I have something wrong here.
Okay, fine.
Okay. I tried to influence my son into coming with me, but he said no. I'm going with Mommy. I told him that he was going to be bored, but I couldn't influence him to come with me. Does that all sound right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now Mary reads the story
Ken, I'll
again,
read
but
a
one
sentence.
sentence at a time, and Ken reads each sentence after her.
I tried to influence my son into coming with me, but he said, no, I'm going with Mommy.
I tried to influence my son into coming with me, but he said, no, I'm going with Mommy.
I told him that he was going to be bored, but I couldn't influence him to come with me.
I told him that he was going to be bored, but I told...
Then Mary asks Ken to read the whole story aloud.
I tried to influence my son into coming with me, but he said no. I'm going with Mommy. I told him that he was going to be bored, but I couldn't influence him to come with me.
See how quickly Ken learned to recognize words that he hadn't studied before? That's because they're his own words. Mary knows that there are many other ways that she can use his story. Let's watch her use it now to ensure that Ken can read those words in other places.
Now, are there any words on here that you'd like to study more?
Yeah, influence.
Okay. Now, why don't you underline that for me? Okay. Any others?
Tried.
Okay.
Couldn't.
Couldn't. Okay. Well, that looks good. Now, how about if we did bored?
Okay, bored. Yeah, that's good too.
Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do now is write on these little cards the words that you'd like to practice more.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you're going to place the cards under each word that it says, and then you'll say that word.
Couldn't.
Okay. And then take it away.
Influence.
Influence. Now, you've got two places you could put it.
Tried.
Take it away.
Bored.
Bored. Okay.
They do the same for each word. Then Mary picks up the cards, shuffles them, and asks Ken to read each one.
Couldn't. Tried.
That's good.
Bored. Influence.
Okay, that was good, Ken. In Book 2, you worked on short vowel sounds, and you learned many words from the short vowel families. Let's find some of those words in your story. That'll be a review, okay? Now, what words would you pick that are short vowel sounds in here?
That.
That, okay, that's a good one.
But.
But,
Him.
him, okay. Now, which one would you like to pick to use?
Him.
Him, okay. Now, what vowel is in him? What short vowel?
I.
I, okay. Now, what is the sound for I
Yeah.
in him? That's good. Now, let's see if we can make some more words by changing the first letter in him. Okay.
Swim.
Swim, that's good.
Tim.
Tim.
Mary decided to use the story to help review short vowel sounds, but she could also have used it to work on root words, word endings, or any number of other skills. The important thing is that Ken is getting a chance to practice these skills on his own words. Let's review the steps in the language experience approach now. 1. The student shares an experience. 2. The tutor writes it exactly as the student says it. The tutor should, however, spell all words correctly and use punctuation where needed. 3. The tutor reads the whole story and asks for any corrections. 4. The tutor reads each sentence aloud. 5. The student reads each sentence after the tutor. 6. The student reads the whole passage aloud. 7. The tutor and student select individual words to work on. 8. The tutor selects other reading skills to work on. And 9. The tutor and student review the story at their next lesson.